Grayson Report. Happy Monday. What is up? Tammy, Tyrana, Carol, Wendy, Julissa, Gunner Girl, Joanne, Jennifer Marie, Dusty, and Brandon. How's everyone doing and how's your Monday going? Did anyone do anything interesting this past weekend? Heather, whatever, what's up? We had a nice day today. I mean, it started off gloomy, but the sun ended up coming out. The birds are chirping. Delea Lux, what's up? Saw a bunch of rabbits and squirrels. Didn't see any snakes. But I'm still irritated that people are killing snakes. Mind you, the last one I saw was in the brush and off the trail, but that kind of irritated me. Because they're we're living in their area. Joanne goes, beekeeping today, thought we lost a hive, but it's coming back. Joanne, that sounds so cool. The beekeeping sounds cool. I have a bunch of bees. It's kind of, they usually come out around this time. But they're like at the edge of my property in the front. And there's like this big old, I don't know what you call it, like a plant grew over the arch. So I think there's some in there, but I just leave them alone. They don't bug anybody, so why not? Chris, what's up? Brandon goes, I cleaned up my workstation, set up the lights and cameras better. That's cool. I need to do that. I need to clean it here and my room. I've been putting it off. Every day I go, I'm gonna clean, I'm gonna pick up. I do pick up, but I don't get to the organization. Gutter Girl goes, well, I thought really hard about starting my spring cleaning. I might start Wednesday. I've been trying to do that, Gunner Girl. I've been. Heather, whatever goes, I fought with my neighbor who was shooting squirrels years ago. She stopped. We're friends. Maybe she thinks I'm a weirdo hippie. I mean, I wouldn't think so. Joanne goes, about beekeeping. It's fun. Bees fling all around. The smell of wax and honey on a sunny day. That does sound fun. I've never done that, but that sounds fun. It's probably something I would enjoy too. Cause I considered bees animals too. I love watching them. I love watching the bees when they jump from flower to flower in my front yard. So I'd probably totally enjoy that. Wake Sheaf Berry, how's it going? I'll wait a few minutes for people to trickle in here before I get into my topics. But I keep getting this one. This is kind of off topic, but I wanted to get your thoughts on it. This is really off topic, but for some odd reason, this keeps popping up in my field, or my, what is it called? I can't even talk today. My feed. There you go, field. I don't know why I'm saying field. Carol goes, I started a new beading project and got Christmas decorations on outside of the house put away. Cool. Joanne goes, come up to Canada and we'll go to the bee yard. I don't know, Joanne, that sounds fun. That really does. That's something I'm going to put on my bucket list. Lisa Boo says, what's up? And Project Metal Music says, A up. So this keeps popping up on my feed. It's on Instagram. I've seen it other places. How do you feel about getting your significant other tattooed on your face? Ozzy Walks, what's up? I thought I'd start it off with this while I wait for people to trickle in. This is basically a local page to the San Gabriel Valley, so it's local to here. And this tattoo artist tattooed his face to his girlfriend's face. I don't know how I feel about this. For some odd reason, this keeps popping up on my feed. And I'm like, I, for one, would never do that. I feel like it's like, dude, I mean, I don't know what she does for work. Maybe she's a tattoo artist, so it doesn't matter, but still, like, you're gonna be stuck with that for the rest of your life. So I just feel like, no. Ozzy Waxo so stupid. Weak Sheep Berry goes, we need to keep bees. Einstein said if bees die, we're all gone. Brandon goes, I should cancel my tattoo appointment then. If it's on your face, yes. Brandon. Joanne goes, like, branding your cows. Dusty goes, heck no, I would not. I have tattoos, but I would not. Yeah, that's one thing I would not do. I mean, if anything, if you wanted to I know some people, they do have, like, their husbands and their kids' faces. I'm kinda on the fence with the husband, being tattooed on you because I I mean, even though you're meant for life, sometimes things happen, and if that happens to happen, you're not gonna want your ex on you. I get with the kids, though, because your kids are with you for life. I totally understand that, but, Matthew goes, "You could have tattoos, but never on the face." Gunner Girl is asking Brandon, "What kind of tattoos?" Joanne goes, "Creepy." Yeah, so this is kinda horrific to me. That's why I just found it just for some odd reason, it keeps popping up, and I'm wondering, like, what is it, a sign or something? But I had no plans of doing this, so this can't be a sign of telling me not to do it. But I don't get it. I mean, she obviously must work. I'm assuming she's a tattoo artist, so it doesn't matter that she has 2 tattoos on her face, because I know a lot of places, discriminate against you having tattoos, anywhere, even, like, even if you have tattoos on your arms, but at least on your arms, you could cover them. Um, Allison Rose, thank you for the super chat. So many nopes for me. Hearts for Allison Rose. Thank you, Allison Rose, for that super chat. Hearts, guys. Thank you for the support. Chris Barber goes, kids, yeah, maybe your parents, but no one else. Brandon goes, do you remember the tattoo Henry Winkler had of Roy Orbison on his butt in the movie Waterboy? No, I don't. Wink Sheep Barry goes, Ozzy Osbourne said it used to be different, but now it's just fashion. There's still a stigmatism, though, nowadays when it comes to tattoos. There's still some places that will not hire you if you have visible tattoos. I know Disneyland was one of them. They kind of lifted their restrictions, I guess, on that, but you still can't have tattoos showing. Heather whatever goes, then you have to change. Yeah, exactly. Like, how do you change that on your face? I mean, there's tattoo artists that they do great job, amazing job at covering up tattoos. I've seen some amazing jobs where they could revamp a tattoo, but on your face. Matthew goes with the new kid tattoo on Andy Samberg in the movie That's My Boy. I mean, there's some things. Osiris, what's up? And then I mean, there is laser removal, but that's painful. I heard. I've never done it, so I don't know, but I've heard that's painful. So if you do get a tattoo, just make sure it is for life. I never regretted any of the tattoos that I have. I do want to get a memorial tattoo for my mom and dad. I already have the idea. I just have to find an artist to do it. Lisa Boo, that's right. There is a makeup that covers tattoos, but it's pretty thick. Yes, I've seen that because I've seen those videos where the boyfriend wants to surprise their girlfriend because he has like all these he in fact he had facial tattoos, but it wasn't a picture of his significant other. And they did a thing to get a reaction, so they covered all his tattoos up with the makeup. There is. You could do that. I mean, if you have to. But that is just I don't know. That Wake Shaper goes, face tattoos make me think of little Peep, like sad. I I or I know like the little I around here, I don't know if it's anywhere else, the teardrop tattoo, related to like the gangs and stuff like that. Heather Whatever goes, Travis Barker has everyone everywhere. Travis Barker, I think he doesn't have any skin left to tattoo. He went crazy. But he's in the music industry, so having tattoos kinda it's not gonna affect him making money, you know what I mean? So or if you own your own business, but the stigmatism of tattoos aren't as bad as they were back then, but they're still people. You're gonna get the old timers are gonna be like, "Oh, who's that punk kid with the tattoos?" And you're not necessarily a punk kid. Or a biker, they'll see a biker and they'll automatically think a biker is a bad person, but yet that biker is a family man that takes care of his family and had 2 kids. Do not judge a book by its cover, ladies and gentlemen. Brandon goes, question, do you think tattoos can carry curses or markings of the damned? That is a very good question, Brandon. I never, you know what? I never thought of that, but psh, if you put, if you were using, you know what? I wouldn't put it past it though, because if say like you have a modern day witch, because there are people that consider themselves witches that created ink that I don't know if anyone's done this. I'm just making an analogy, so don't quote me on this. But they make the ink, they do a spell on that ink, cursing like a curse type of spell, not a good spell, but a bad spell. And then you get tattooed with that ink, I would think yes, for sure, Brandon. I would think it would carry whatever stigmatism that comes with that spell or curse that was put on that ink. Wake Shapeberry goes, isn't a teardrop tattoo a kill? I think it is. I'm not 100% sure. Heather Whatever goes, I do fake tattoos on my feet because my feet are pretty hammered. Still, I had to go to the hospital and I got a very negative reaction from the doctor. They Lisa Boo goes, bikers are some of the nicest people I've met. Exactly. Like, do not judge a book by its cover. Just because someone's tattooed, drives a Harley, has massive rings on every single one of their fingers doesn't mean that they're going to treat you badly or they're a bad person. It does not. Chris Barber goes, I may be old fashioned, but I don't like tattoos above the neck. I don't like the tattoos on the neck, but that's me. I like tattoos, but I just don't like them above. But if you're in the music industry or if you're in an industry that allows it, to each his own. Dusty goes, it's like he is branding her. That's what they do to cows. Someone had mentioned the brand. I think it was Joanne had mentioned the branding. Yes. It's like he's like, you're my property, woman. And then she went along with it. I would have been like, hell no. Julissa, you're absolutely correct. We are too quick to judge sometimes. Correct. Heather, whatever goes true, one day Travis will be in the Blue Man Group. You know, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Kat Von D. She was on Miami Ink for a bit, and then she did LA Ink. She had a shop here, but she moved to I want to say Indiana, somewhere over there. She started blacking out all her tattoos. I guess that's a thing. And I was like, why are you blacking out your tattoos? What's up, Daniel? Tattoos are ugly to me, raised by Hells Angels and Mafia. I have no tats. Some do look cool. Oh, Heather, whatever go. Yes, your tattoos will fade and bleed out. I have some tattoos that I got when I was in my 20s, so they do, but I mean, that comes with the territory. You could get there's creams that kind of bring them back to life. I haven't tried those, but Joanne goes, someone had a tattoo done using his friend's ashes in the ink. I've heard of that. Some people do that. That's a way of to memorialize your loved one. I see nothing wrong with that. Julissa goes, yes, she is now a born again Christian. Lisa Boo goes, love cat. Brandon goes, she changed her life. I get that, but I don't get why you would black them all out. It'd be I understand changing, like, you're in a different space, like, all those tattoos you had gotten, you were young and stupid. We've all been young and stupid when we were younger, but I would never black out my entire arm. I mean, I would cover it up with something different that would maybe be more, more maybe covered up. I've seen cover-ups that have been amazing. Sergio goes, I was doing tattoos in jail to get things to eat and drink and weed and things like that. If not, I had nothing. We were smoking in jail back in the 70s. Oh, wow. Wake Schaeferberry goes, I always wanted to get a tattoo, but could never decide on a design like D Nice is back! What's up, D Nice? Matthew goes, I've seen people who have Christine Plymouth tattoos and a happy toy truck from Maximum Drive. Dusty was raised in an era that only salty sailors had tats. Though some of those sailor tats, because you can get sailor tattoos, are kind of cool. And I agree with Joanne. Some tattoos are a work of art. They are. If you see, I follow a few tattoo artists. There's one that does like horror tattoos, and I'm like, oh my god, they look so real. Like you're like, is that real? Like it almost looks like the actual like photo. It doesn't look like a tattoo. Daniel, I kind of agree with you that on that one. Leave the tattoos so you can tell the story about your life and how you got clean. Exactly. I agree because that's basically that's part of your life. And if you're not proud of that part of your life that now who you are is because of what you were, I feel like I agree with you, Daniel, on that one. Because it kind of reminds you of where you came from and how far you've come, I should say. Brandon goes, my friend had his brother's ashes tattooed on his face as a teardrop. Seemed like a unique way of remembering him. Oh, that is cool. Heather, whatever goes, Kat Von D makes the best eyeliner. I'm not paid to say that. I'm not sure if she still owns her makeup line. I know one of those she sold. I don't remember. I think it was her makeup line she sold. Daniel, exactly. There's no need to be ashamed for what you did in your past. In fact, you should be proud of who you are today, and it's because of what you went through. Heather is mocha composed mom. Have no tats. What do I want when I'm old? Not sure yet. D Nice goes, I'm thinking of getting a thorn bracelet on my wrist over my burn mark from when I spilled boiling water on me during a seizure. I've been covering up with my watch. Nothing wrong with that. That's why I have that's probably on this arm. I have some scars that I want to cover up. Um, which is where I'm thinking of putting the memorial tat for my mom and dad. Oh, that Sergio, that's cool. I had a real Chinese ink that a guard was getting for me for a box of cigars. It was Pelican ink, still black since. That is cool. That is awesome, Sergio. Daniel Miles, if I was to ever get a tattoo, it would definitely be Slayer with the pentagram. No, I'm not satanic. Daniel Miles, if it's an upside down pentagram, that's the satanic symbol. If you're the other way around, it's not the satanic symbol. But I know anybody that sees a pentagram, they just automatically think it's satanic, which I wouldn't, Daniel. Heather, whatever, that's the way to do it. I celebrate my choices. Even exes were on the journey. Like, I don't regret. I mean, I did some stupid things, but I don't regret any of them because they made me the person I am today. Heather's Mocha and Capone's mom says Cat made the best concealer, covered tats, and now they don't make it. Sigh. There was some controversy about Cat. Can't remember what it was. Wink Sheep Barry goes, it's only satanic if it's upside down. Concerning the pentagram, it is, but it still has that stigmatism. Heather, whatever, Cat was married to Marilyn Manson. I almost said Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Manson. She was? I don't remember that. D Nice Ghost surgery scars on my belly, was joking about tattooing a clock because those scars are pointing at 9 o'clock. Oh, wow. Heather, whatever goes, good idea. I have a few burns that could use something like a flower. I know a lot of people do that, like um people that have had a mastectomy because of cancer or whatever it may be. They get these beautiful tattoos like tattooed on their chest, and they wear them proudly, like they show it as this is what I went through, but look at what I am now. And so I Daniel goes, the Slayer symbols, not even a full pentagram, it's missing a sword. Wow. All right, guys, I'm gonna get into before we get into the Loch Ness monster. I have an article that I found. It popped up on the news, but this, I guess, the original article was on TMZ, and it's the Shining Hotel. Horrifying blaze breaks out in attic. So I guess the hotel, which I did not knew, that was featured in The Shining, which I had no clue. D Nice is asking, do we have more juicy ghost stories tonight? D Nice, I was looking and I couldn't find any, but I'm gonna keep looking. Don't worry. Don't worry. I will share with you guys. Sergio, oh, I know that. Charles Manson was yeah, I know. I've seen it. Oops, I hit the wrong button. I love when I do that. Daniel go. Did Daniel say I got my So, one of the nation's most famous hotels, featured in the Stanley Kubrick film The Shining, went up in flames Thursday night, but luckily firefighters put out the blaze before it could spread and destroy the Oregon landmark. Timberland Lodge, better known as the Overlook Hotel from the 1980s horror classic starring Jack Nicholson, was once again pew-pewed by camera crews, but this time it's a different pew-pewing. TV news outlets filmed a small inferno that erupted in the attic of the 55,000 square foot building. I had no idea that this hotel was was what they used to film the Overlook Hotel. D Nice is adorable. Says those will be my first tats. They make dots for cancer patients, I will let my client and friends put the dots on me and tat them on oh, that's kinda cool. Last evening, so this occurred, a couple days ago. Couple days ago. Last evening, fire crews responded to the hotel and ski resort about 60 miles from Portland after employees called in the emergency and directed guests to congregate in safe places. For 2 hours, firefighters doused the flaming roof with water under windy conditions, bringing the serious three-alarm blaze under control before midnight. No injuries have been reported. Local officials said the flames were contained to just the roof and the attic, but the ski area would still be closed Friday. Preservationists removed pieces of art and furniture sprayed by fire hoses to maintain and safeguard what they deemed historic assets. That sucks. Investigators have not come up with a cause of the fire, but theorize flying embers from a chimney might have ignited it. The lodge opened in 1937 and became a part of Hollywood history when Kubrick, the late legendary director, filmed exterior shots of the structure seen at the beginning of The Shining, which was based on the Stephen King book. Other shots of the hotel also made the final cut of the scary flick. I had no idea. That is kind of interesting. That's kind of sad that they're thinking that the fire was started by embers from the chimney. That's crazy. Wendy, what's up? Wake Shafe Berry, I heard a funny story about Charles Manson. One of his family met him in jail years later and asked him what happened. Manson replied, I don't know. That guy was crazy. He was. Heather, whatever goes, I always thought when The Shining was new was the Ahwahnee Hotel in Yosemite, but I haven't been to the other national parks. But I had no idea that they had filmed at that hotel. So I learned something new. I thought that was kind of interesting. I'm glad you made it, Wendy. All right, I know I spoke about I kind of went into the Loch Ness monster. I also went into the Tahoe lake monster, but I never really went in depth for the Loch Ness monster, and it kept popping up on my feed, so I took that as a sign. Salvatore. Oh, as always, I forgot. Skeleduck is somewhere. My camera wants to move. I don't know why. Hold on, guys. And I'm probably giving away the location. All right. Skeleduck is somewhere in this background. And just remind me, and I will reveal his location at the end of the stream. Chevy Tahoe. D nice. Tammy, what's up? Almost forgot. So pardon me having to adjust the camera. Just remind me at the end of the stream and I will reveal his location. So this is from All That's Interesting, and it's inside the enduring myth Salvatore says Weird Duck is due Thursday. I did because I thought you had said that they sent it already, so I messaged them And they did tell me it was gonna come by sometime this week, because I just wanted to make sure it wasn't lost, but thank you for letting me know, I appreciate that. Sergio goes, "We have one here in Quebec, we don't need to go too far." Oh, that's cool. I need to look that one up. I didn't know there was one in Quebec too as well. Eh, yes, Gunner Girl, I do have a tattoo on my right wrist. So, a marine creature from Scottish folklore, the Loch Ness monster, is one of the most fascinating cryptids. You know what? I'm gonna make my own words. Fascinating cryptids in history. But is it actually real? In 1933, journalists, looky-loos, and curious locals alike rushed to the shores of a freshwater lake in Scotland, south of Inverness. They were all hoping to catch a glimpse of the same thing, the so-called Loch Ness monster, which have been allegedly spotted by a couple out for a drive. So, guys, if you had a chance, would you go to Scotland to check out to see if you can take a glimpse of the Loch Ness monster? I mean, I would. I've always wanted to go to Scotland anyways. That's on my bucket list. The enormous marine creature the couple claimed has been rolling and plunging on the surface. Their account captivated the world, especially when photographic evidence emerged the next year, but it was hardly the first time that someone had reported a monster in Loch Ness. In fact, accounts of a strange animal living in Loch Ness can be traced back to the 6th century and perhaps even earlier. But is there truly some sort of monster living in the lake, or is the whole thing an elaborate hoax? Here's the full story of the Loch Ness monster legend, from ancient sightings to debunked evidence to plausible explanations. Dusty, I've been there at the castle where she lives. Beautiful scenery. Oh my gosh, you're so lucky. I've always wanted to go to Scotland. It's just somewhere I've always wanted to go. Sergio goes, "I can't remember the name of the lake, but it is in Bios. Sorry if I'm butchering it, Sergio. A part of Quebec. I will look. You know what? I'm going to look that up. D nice with the hashtag Loch Ness is a friend is friends with Godzilla. I love that one. The ancient history of the Loch Ness monster. Hundreds of years before the world became obsessed with Nessie, ancient people recorded evidence of a strange beast in the region. PBS reports that when first century Romans arrived in Scotland, they came upon carvings made by Picts, a group of fierce, heavily tattooed Celtic people in the area. Picts or pits. Romans could identify most of the carvings, but one still defies explanation. It seems to have flippers and a long beak, and it has been described as a swimming elephant. But is but its limp position also suggests that it's floating, which is why some believe that it's the Loch Ness monster. So this picture, it's saying, once the ad could get out of the way, the maiden stone, a Pictish carving or Pictish carving that ancient Romans came across in the first century, seemed to depict an unidentified animal, which some believe to be the fabled Loch Ness monster. Wake Shapeberry goes, Picts are Scottish now? Chris Barber goes, there's supposed to be a monster in Crater Lake. Heather, whatever, would go to Scotland. Matthew goes, would be nice to go to Scotland, Ireland, Wales, and England. I'm with you on that one, Matthew. Heather, whatever goes, one in Minnesota. I have heard of recent Tahoe Tessie sightings. I wonder if they could be dying out. New England mom and her ever-changing name. I don't know how she does it. She's the only one with the secrets, but she just gifted 5 memberships. Welcome Matthew, Wendy, Joanne, Gunner Girl, and Carol to the Wolfpack. Hearts for New England mom and the new Wolfpack members. We are gonna. I'm gonna give you some twerk. Thank you, Heather Salvatore. New England mom. Whether or not the Pictish carving shows a creature similar to the Loch Ness monster is up for debate. But hundreds of years later, another apparent sighting of the Scottish cryptid took place. Then, in 565 CE, an Irish abbot named Saint Columba allegedly encountered a beast in Loch Ness. As the National Catholic Register reports, Saint Columba met a tribe of Picts who told them that an enormous water beast had killed one of their own. Saint Columba went to the lake's edge where he asked one of his fellow monks to swim across the water and retrieve a boat from the other side. As the man got closer to the center of the lake, the beast reared out of the water. Saint Columba allegedly stepped forward, made a sign of the cross, and shouted, "You will go no further. Do not touch the man. Leave at once." To the shock of the Picts, the water beast obeyed. They were so impressed that they all purportedly converted to Christianity on the spot. The waters of Loch Ness reportedly stayed quiet for long after that, though rumors remained of something unusual in the lake. But everything changed in 1933 when a local couple claimed to have seen a monster in Loch Ness. Heather, Jen, what's up? Heather, whatever goes, there are sea and land monsters in the Bible, I think. Dinosaurs. Sergio goes, Lac Minfree, Magog in Quebec. I will have to check. I will check that out after the stream or toward the end. Let me actually, you know what? Let me take a picture of that because I'm gonna forget. Let me take a picture of that in the chat so that way. Give me a second, guys. That way I got the name. All right. D Nice goes in Loch Ness that first appeared in the Godzilla the series episode Deadlock. D Nice also says Nessie or Nessie, more commonly known as the Loch Ness Monster, is a prehistoric sea monster kaiju created by TriStar Pictures and based on the well-known cryptid creature speculated to live in Loch Ness that first appeared in the Godzilla the series episode Deadlock. That is super cool. Carol, YouTube likes to be pesky. That is weird, though. Heather, whatever goes, Tessie doesn't eat people. And Chris Barber goes, Oregon is closer to you. Oregon's beautiful. I've been there. I don't think I've been to Crater Lake, though. The waters of Loch Ness reportedly stayed quiet for long after that, though rumors remained of something unusual in the lake, but everything changed in 1933 when a local couple claimed to have seen a monster in Loch Ness. The 20th century sighting that cremated the legend, oh my God, that cemented, I don't know where I got cremated out of cemented, the legend of the Loch Ness Monster. Yeah, they cremated the legend of the Loch Ness Monster, yes. On April 14th, 1933, Elodie Mackey was driving along a new road near Loch Ness with her husband when she saw something in the water. It looked black and wet, and as Mackey watched in horror, it plunged back into the depths. "Stop!" she cried. "The beast!" Weeks later, the Inverness Courier reported Mackey's sighting, writing that a local couple had seen a monster in Loch Ness, an enormous animal rolling and plunging on the surface. Before long, other sightings followed. The BBC reports that clergymen, fishermen, students, police inspectors, and bank managers alike all claim to see the beast. And people didn't just report seeing the Loch Ness monster in the lake. Some witnesses also started claiming that they'd cross paths with the beast while on land. On July 22nd, George Spicer and his wife claimed that they saw a gray trunk-like object move across the road and disappear into the nearby water, according to Historic UK. Months later, in January of 1934, a veterinarian student named Arthur Grant claimed that he nearly collided with a long-necked creature while riding his motorbike late one night near Loch Ness. So this guy is claiming that the creature comes out of the water. That's the first for me. I've never heard anybody claim that they've seen it outside of water. This is a weird ad. It goes, toilet paper roll under seat. Put a toilet paper roll under the seat at night if alone. Here's why. Clickbait. PB. I get the weirdest ads. I don't. PBS reports that one man, a big game hunter named Marmaduke Wetherell, was even able to track down unusually large footprints near the shore of Loch Ness after being hired by the London Daily Mail. Monster of Loch Ness is not legend, but a fact, the Daily Mail blared. It didn't take long, however, for these large footprints to be identified as belonging to a hippopotamus, leading to accusations that Wetherell had fabricated them by using a stuffed hippopotamus foot. For disbelievers, these sightings, especially Wetherell's, were easy to dismiss. But then, in 1934, shocking photographic evidence emerged that appeared to confirm the Loch Ness monster's existence. Joanne go, did it just have flippers? That's what they had a picture of the motorcyclist encounter, and it had flippers. Delayed Lux goes, someone needs to send her some people dressed in skeleton costumes so she can have that music. D Nice adding a fun fact: on March 2nd, 2033, King Kong will be 100 years old. October 27th, 2054, Godzilla will be 100 years old. Wow. Wendy goes, no ghosties in my bathroom. Nope. Hell nah. Joanne goes, so it won't be going on land. Yeah, that's why I've never heard it being on land. So the fact that someone said they claimed they were riding their motorcycle and they came while near Loch Ness, kind of little fishy. Loch Ness Monster, fact or fiction? In April of 1934, the Daily Mail published a shocking photo that seemed to depict the Loch Ness Monster. The paper had brought the photograph from a London physician named Robert Kenneth Wilson, who claimed that he'd snapped the iconic shot while driving up to Inverness to photograph birds. For decades, the 1934 photo acted as the ultimate proof for believers in Nessie. But in 1994, the story of the photograph took a shocking turn. Then it came out that Witherell, unhappy with his treatment by the Daily Mail, had enlisted the help of his son, Ian, and his stepson, Christian Spurling, to fake a photo of the legendary Scottish cryptid. And Wilson, who was persuaded by the Witherells to help since they shared mutual friends, gave the family the perfect cover and credibility to pull the hoax off. So this was the photo in 1935 claiming to be Loch Ness, but it's revealed to be fake. To be honest with you, if you think of it, it could be someone's hand coming out of the water and arching like it looks like a head, and then you just darken it a bit and you would that's kind of but I don't know how they would do that in 1934. Well, I mean, they had black and gray photos. So maybe they did it when it was dark to make it look like it. Ian Witherell had actually confessed that the photo was fake in 1975, but according to PBS, almost no one paid him any attention. It wasn't until Loch Ness enthusiast Alistair Boyd tracked down the Aileen Spurling that Spurling shared the full story, admitting that the monster in the photos was actually plastic wood that had been painted gray and grafted to a toy submarine. So, is the Loch Ness monster nothing more than a legend? Vox points out a number of other reasons why the famous cryptid couldn't have actually existed, including the fact that no bones have ever been found and that the lake is too small and too cold to support a reptile-like creature like Nessie. That said, is it possible that something strange lived or lives in Loch Ness? Carol goes, I keep smelling my dad in our bathroom. That's where he passed away. It's so weird. Carol, he's probably paying you a visit. Daniel goes, size is too small compared to the water ripples. Wake Sheaf Berry goes, just a toy dinosaur on a model boat. Yep. You can also, if it was nowadays, I was thinking you could put your hand in there and then, but back then they didn't have that technology, I was thinking. So what lives in the legendary lake, you may ask? Though some of the most compelling evidence regarding the Loch Ness monster turned out to be fabricated, studies of the lake itself have suggested that there's some kind of fascinating creatures living in its depth. Sonar expeditions in the 60s at Loch Ness discerned some kind of large moving object in the lake. And in 1975, an expedition that combined sonar and underwater photography seemed to capture some kind of giant flipper. So, what is living in Loch Ness, if anything? The first and least plausible explanation is that the Loch Ness monster is the last surviving ancestor of some kind of dinosaur. That's what I think it is. Some people who support this theory have suggested that Nessie could be a plesiosaur, a long-necked marine reptile that first appeared some 200 million years ago. But this is unlikely. For one thing, the lake is probably too cold for a plesiosaur unless it had undergone some major adaptations. For another, plesiosaurs have likely been extinct for more than 60 million years. In search of answers, geneticist Neil Gemmell of New Zealand's University of Otago set out to study the DNA of Loch Ness itself. According to the Washington Post, he and his team analyzed DNA in 250 water samples from the lake and found no genetic evidence of prehistoric reptiles like the plesiosaur or sharks, catfish, or sturgeons, for that matter. So I guess this is a picture of a plesiosaur battling a ichthyosaurus, which kind of has the similar of what they described Loch Ness to be. But Gemmell and his team did find plenty of eel DNA. The remaining theory that we cannot refute based on the environmental DNA database is that what people are seeing is a very large eel. He and his team wrote, but while the idea is compelling. The largest eel ever caught in Europe weighed just 12 pounds, which isn't exactly monstrous. So, what have people seen at Loch Ness? Other explanations include oscillations in the surface of the water, huge fish, or simply floating branches. In other words, perhaps all the Loch Ness monster sightings were a trick of the light or a strange shape caught in the corner of someone's eye. Then again, maybe not. The faked evidence aside, maybe there is truly something swimming in the depths of Loch Ness that bellies belief. After all, Picts, Christian saints, and 20th century couples out for a drive have all described more or less the same thing, a dark, long-necked creature. To find out the truth, perhaps you'll have to go to Loch Ness yourself. Maybe in the dead of night, you'll see a ripple in the water that could be the wind or the legendary Loch Ness monster out for a swim. Guys, so what are your thoughts on the Loch Ness monster? Do you think he exists, or it exists, I should say? Because Loch Ness could be male or female. Joanne goes, I heard there are more than one Nessies. Daniel goes, and then take another picture of what they made. Chris goes, Big Blue from the X-Files. It reminded me of Mulder as I was reading this. It really did, because Mulder would have been, yes, it's real. Come on, Scully. Why can't you believe after all the evidence you've seen? D Nice goes, one of my favorite lines from the Twilight movies. You nicknamed our daughter after the Loch Ness monster? Sergio says the monster has been seen in different lakes because he travels in long water tunnels from lake to lake. Wake Chief Barry goes, she. Loch Ness is a she. D Nice goes, I think it exists. Joanne goes, someone should go out on the loch with a harpoon, mystery solved. True. I mean, or someone should deep dive in there or something. Carol goes, I believe something is there, but who knows what? Chris goes, logically, no, but who knows? Tyrana goes, I think they might be real. Julissa goes, I think it could be real. Dusty goes, it's a romantic. Love these kind of folklore stories. Wendy goes, global warning, y'all. Want to believe? Daniel goes, I believe there's a Nessie and much, much more. I believe that there's something there. I do. I believe. Because why would there's accounts of people starting with the Picts saying that they seen it, and then clergymen said that they seen them. So I believe that there's something there. It might not necessarily be what we think it is, but I believe that there's something weird there. Matthew goes, the water is too murky to see much. Lisa Boo goes, I think there's a Nessie. Heather Whatever actually saw Tessie in Lake Tahoe, so she is a believer. So Coast to Coast had posted the first official Loch Ness monster sighting of 2024 recorded. This article came out a couple days ago. A British tourist recently snapped a photo of a peculiar anomaly emerging from the water of Loch Ness, and in turn has been credited with the first official sightings of the site's famed monster for 2024. This intriguing image seen below was reportedly taken by Perry Malm on April 4th as he and his family were vacationing at the popular Scottish location. According to the witness, we were a few hundred yards from Urquhart Castle, looking down on the bay, when his wife noticed what looked like the black head of an animal bobbing up and down. Malm noted that the anomaly appeared to be moving against the current, which led him to conclude that it was a living creature rather than a piece of driftwood or something similar prosaic. Malm indicated that the oddity stayed surface for approximately 4 minutes before eventually vanished back into the waters of Loch Ness. In what may be a maddening detail to those who have spent countless hours looking for Nessie, the tourist noted that it was actually his family's first visit to the location. He also mused that the experience transformed him from a total skeptic to thinking there must be something there to that end. Malm subsequently submitted the image and account to the official Loch Ness Monster sighting registry, which deemed it compelling and recognized it as the first official sighting of 2024. So I believe this is the picture of the first official sighting of Loch Ness. Um, it could be anything. Jennifer Marie, what's up? Heather, whatever goes, the American Indians saw it in Tahoe. The Washoe Indians, Clearwater. Carol goes, I heard about Champ in Lake Champlain in New York. Heather, whatever goes, new cool. Yes, this is the first new sighting for 2024 of Nessie. And there is an official registry for posting Loch Ness sightings, believe it or not. D Nice goes, that's just a man swimming. That could be anything. That could be a duck for all we know. But then they're saying the water's too cold, so I don't think a duck would be in that water, but it could be anything. But the man claims that I was swimming against the current. But there in that picture, it looks like it's going with the current. So it could be anything. Wendy goes, it's a big ass duck. It's a magnified duck. Heather Ritter goes, right, I saw hump sound like their description up and down. Chris Barr goes, skeleduck. D Nice goes, that's Tom Hanks. Chuck Nolan looking for Wilson. Joanne goes, can't he zoom in with the camera? He could, but he probably chose not to. Sergio goes, a part of Lake Champlain is in Quebec. So there's a border on that lake. So to me, it looks like it's, well, maybe not. It's probably it looks like it is going against current because the waves are going. It's kind of hard to tell in this picture. It could be that, or it could be a brand, or somebody threw something in there. Chaplain, Sergio, it meant. Joanne goes, we have ducks in Canada. So it could be anything. But that picture is the first official sighting of Loch Ness in 2024. Wake Shave Berry goes, if Nessie and Champ are real, they are breeding population. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. There should be more of them. If that's the case. But I guess apparently they're like spirits. You can only catch them at certain times. You don't always catch them when you go there. So you may not necessarily catch a glimpse of Loch Ness. Chris Barber goes, I think there's a tunnel from the loch to the ocean. Huh. And it seems like it would be a creature that would go like in deep depths, I should say. So I guess last summer, because this article is from August, there was a Loch Ness monster hunt. So someone actually went out hunting for the Loch Ness monster. This is from NBC News. Inside the largest Loch Ness monster hunt in decades, hundreds of enthusiasts were armed with high-tech help, along with hundreds more on a live stream. So I guess they live streamed this. Loch Ness, Scotland. The legend of the Loch Ness monster has fascinated generations of curious minds. Over the weekend, 90 years after its first modern supposed sightings, enthusiasts descended again on the picturesque lake in a quiet corner of the Scotland Highlands in hope of turning myth into reality. Organizers billed the weekend events as the largest organized Nessie hunt for 50 years. And the hunters came armed with high-tech help: sonar for mapping the lake bed, thermal imaging drones for scanning the surface, and hydrophones to hear strange sounds from the depths. The event were even open to the global public. Hundreds of people were invited to live stream of the water surface to add more eyes to the search. Even this way, for anyone's curious, this happened August 28th, 2023. So it was last summer, or the end of last summer, I should say. Even with all the machines and added manpower, the gathering of Loch Ness was as much about reviving old lore as settling hard science. Organizers said they planned the weekend to excite interest in the legend among a new generation of Nessie hunters. It's about inspiration, said Alan McKenna, the head of Loch Ness Exploration, an independent research group based on the lake's shores that planned the event as a kind of call for volunteers. For very selfish reasons, I don't want the Loch Ness mystery or interest in Loch Ness itself to diminish in any way whatsoever at all. Those selfish reasons don't include a commercial motive, said McKenna, who added that he is an unpaid volunteer. Though the legend can bring in as much as £41 million or $52 million every year to Scotland's economy, according to a 2018 study reported by Scotland's press and journal newspaper enthusiasts like McKenna says, the search is really just about having fun, keeping faith, and exploring the natural world. So this is Alan McKenna, the head of the Loch Ness Exploration. Like the surface of a lake, the Loch Ness legend seems to reflect the hopes of those who gaze into it. I think she has babies and she's looking after them right now, Albus Sindo, 8, said as she surveyed the Loch Ness with her parents from the deep scan. One of the organizers' church boats, so that's why she's hiding from us. Hey, you know what? I'll take that. I would think if Loch Ness was sighted so many years ago, wouldn't she have offsprings or some sort? Wouldn't there be more than one? So I kind of like what the 8-year-old said. Alba's father, Malcolm Begg, 47, a pharmaceutical company employee, had his own remarkable specific ideas about the monster. I think it's like a diplodocus with fins, he said, referring to a Jurassic era dinosaur, while lamenting that most images of the monster have been too grainy to discern a definitive shape. The focus of the 2-day event was at the Loch Ness Center, which organized the proceedings in partnership with Loch Ness Exploration, a voluntary research team. The recently renovated center is housed in a former hotel where Aldi Mackey, a hotel employee, sighted a beast or white whale-like fish in 1933, the first modern sighting of the monster that set off the global phenomenon. But the legend dates to writings from the 17th century in which an Irish monk reported having encountered a water beast that had mauled a swimmer. Nessie has been so popular for so long that her myth can sometimes feed herself. If, like Alba, you imagine the monster as female. Alistair Matheson, the skipper of the Deep Scan, which trolled the lake with volunteer searchers like Alba, showed how the boat's sonar technology had recently spotted a perfect outline of a huge Nessie-shaped monster. But the shape of the Matheson's radar screen turned out to be a sunken Nessie model that had been made for a movie about the monster and then abandoned at the bottom of the lake. Even the Loch Ness Center logo thing instantly recognizable picture of a sort of humped eel cruising through waves on the lake's surface comes from a fuzzy 1934 black and white photo that was proven to be fake, which we had read in the previous article. Still, Matheson describes himself as a believer, though he imagines the monster as something from this earth or something a bit more realistic than some kind of ancient alien or supernatural being. Scientists have speculated that the sightings could be huge catfish or giant eels. But short of emptying the entire lake, Matheson says nothing will ever truly disprove a legend that has become a matter of faith for so many. So this is one of the this is on the actual lake, um which looks like a beautiful area. People come here, they're desperate, they're looking, they're searching, he said, and they really really want to be able to hope that there is something that us humans, we think we can know everything to an extent. The weekend in the Scottish Highlands attracted some for whom Nessie is more of a vocation than a hobby. Ken Gerard, an American cryptozoologist who researches and writes about animals that live on the fringes of our known reality, like Bigfoot, Chupacabra, and Mothman, cannot talk today, sorry, traveled to Scotland from the States just for the event. I'm 90% convinced she exists, said Gerard, who also seemed to believe in the monster's femininity. I've never had a sighting or an observation, but if you immerse yourself in the evidence, you have over 1,000 good sightings that are very consistent. So this is Ken Gerard. Beyond the shaky photographic proof, believers' primary argument in favor of Nessie's existence is that the lake's immense size and dark, peaty waters make it impossible to rule out the existence of an even large creature. Joanne goes, no one knows what it looks like, though. That's true. True, because the one photo from 19, what was it, 33, 34 was actually fake. But people do describe seeing like humps in the water. Dusty goes, doesn't she need a partner to make babies? True, but what if she didn't need one? She was one of those that I forgot what they call it. That she's able to oh, what is it called? You're like, she's a she, but she's unisex and she's able to like a sea. No, seahorses, they still have males, I think. What do they call that? What do they call that, guys? Do you guys know that in the chat? Wake Shape Berry goes, I like the idea. It might be a Greenland shark. Chris goes, is sexual. Like some fish, like worms, New England mom says. I don't think it's asexual. I forgot what there are. They're able to reproduce without a counterpart. Joanne goes, she mated once, has enough eggs for her lifetime. Sergio goes, a hermaphrodite? Maybe. Ozzy goes, parthenogenesis? Maybe that's it. What Ozzy says. I feel like what Ozzy said is more what I'm thinking. What Ozzy said, I think, is what. I know, Heather, whatever. Some people think it's sturgeon because that fish is huge. So some of them had said that Loch Ness might be a sturgeon, or at least the one, Tessie, the Tahoe Tessie, or Nessie, I should say. Wendy goes, Ozzy goes parthenogenesis. Heather, whatever, I agree with you. There has to be more. Several volunteers have mentioned that Loch Ness contains more water than all the lakes of England and Wales combined. Indeed, McKenna said they heard some fantastic, bizarre sounds Friday, but unfortunately, the recording equipment hadn't been plugged in. What? It may well be gas escaping from the bottom of the loch, he said. It could be an animal. Of course, it could be the elusive Loch Ness monster, he added. So if any of the attendees were expecting the weekend to yield a revelation, they went home disappointed. Nobody found the monster, but maybe that was never the point. For many, it was a pilgrimage of faith, a kind of rejoinder to the high-tech dictates of hard facts that have left us so little room for magic and mystery. I think there's always going to be a small part of me that wants to believe, said Craig Whitefield, 29, a medical administrator from Scotland, who spent the weekend scanning the lake's surface with binoculars. Like other volunteers, Whitefield said that only emptying one of the largest lakes in the world and checking every nook and cranny of the lake bed would satisfy his curiosity. I wouldn't do that. It's the same with every legend out there, he said. It just takes one person to believe and it just continues. I would not want to empty that lake. I feel like that would be disruptive to the environment. Joanne goes, exactly. That's why, how convenient for the plug. I agree. You guys are doing an investigation and your equipment is unplugged when you hear noises. Like, what is that? Wake Shapeberry goes, when a Greenland shark surfaces, it freaks people out. Daniel goes, the moon is just coming out of the mountain. It's huge and super bright. Oh, I love the moon. Whenever I see it, it's amazing. Heather, whatever goes, but sturgeon humps are rigid attached, not like a snake going up and down. Honey says, I believe in Nessie, even if it was just some guy with a big willy swimming on his back. Carol goes, asexual is the lack of attraction to others. So I want to believe that there's something there. It might not necessarily be what it might not be what people think it is, but I do think that there's something there. I really do. There has to be. There's too many people that have seen it. Even Heather whatever has seen one up here up north, well to me up north in Tahoe. So I believe that there's something there and it's plausible. But you never know. How do we know it's just one? There could be more than one too, because if she's a female, there could be more than one, and we're just seeing one. You know what I mean? Of all the evidence, only one's coming to the surface. So there it could be a number of things. And they had all that equipment and they didn't find anything. So Julissa goes, yes, in Donner Lake and Truckee. Wendy goes, asexual multiple spawns. You know what? Hold on. Let me look what that is. Asexual, a term used to describe someone who does not experience sexual attraction toward individuals of any gender. So there's no attraction to. So, Carol, you were right. I think it was Carol. Hold on. Let me see if I can find being able to. Because now I'm intrigued here. I don't even know how you would describe that. An animal. Okay, so what Ozzy says, the parthenogenesis occurs naturally in some plants, algae, invertebrate animal species, including nematodes, some tardigrades, water fleas, some scorpions, aphids, some mites, some bees, some phasmatodea, and parasitic wasps, and a few vertebrates such as some fish, amphibians, reptiles, and birds. They're saying a stingray was the first recorded incident of the parthenogenesis. So Ozzy was correct on that one. Honey goes, instead of scanner, they need the Navy's deep sea bathysphere. Send that all the way down to the bottom to see what is down there and take samples. Yes, they do. They need to like take samples, actually have some. I know it's murky, as Matthews had said, but still have someone go in there, take samples, dive in there, see what they can find. Dusty goes, it took an attack to find the gator in Lake Placid. Joanne goes, so no mating involved. Maybe, I don't know, because the article did not say that, but I'm thinking it's a possibility. Lisa Boo. Okay, Lisa Boo says parthenogenesis is a form of asexual reproduction, which I did not know. It's been a while since I've taken biology. It's been a while. Ozzy goes, I've seen a documentary where scientists have tested the waters from all areas and depths of the Loch Ness. Oh. Tested various DNA samples, Ozzy Walks added. Julissa goes, in parthenogenesis, instead of fusing the egg cell with DNA from a male cell, these cells either double their own genetic information. Huh. I remember studying it, but I don't like remember all the details. It's one of those things, if you don't use it, you lose it type of thing, and I enjoyed biology, but it just wasn't something in my life I continued to take. D Nice goes, we sometimes relearn things we've forgotten from grade school. Yeah. It's like I went all the way to what did I calculus in high school, but can I remember calculus now? Probably not. Lisa Boo goes, genetics was one of my majors. Oh, whoa, that's crazy. Oh, that's kind of cool, Lisa Boo. That is kind of cool. Chris Barber, honestly, with the ads, YouTube gets all the money. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, with the ads, YouTube probably gets 90% of the money with it. Because I don't make any money off the ads. The only way you will is if you get a gazillion views like Sam and Colby does, and a lot of us don't. And I don't even have it set like that, so YouTube is going crazy. Daniel Miles goes, I sent a few cool contrail pics to your Discord. Can share if you like. Wacky curves from planes. Lisa Boo goes, I love biology. Wake Shake Berry goes, they only found eel DNA in Loch Ness, but doesn't I still think there's something, even if it's just eel DNA, it could be like a different type of eel that we don't know about. Yeah, it's weird, Joanne, because I don't have it set that way. It honestly, Julissa, it does not. It only helps you if you get a gazillion views like Sam and Colby or like some of these bigger YouTubers, to be honest with you guys. It doesn't. It doesn't. It's not what you guys think. Ozzy goes, there was a house empty episode where he diagnosed parthenogenesis as a cause of pregnancy to cover for a woman whose boyfriend thought she was a virgin. I know you do get, like I said, if you're Sam and Colby or some of those bigger YouTubers, they probably do, but then they're sponsored too, so that makes a difference. D Nice goes, if you could get some sort of hiking shoe company to sponsor you, I'd be buying the whole website. I am not sure, Gunner Girl. I'm not sure if Lewis is going live. Thank you, Delea Lugo. Hopefully, you're still in the chat for your PayPal. And thank you, Heather, whatever, for your PayPal as well. Hearts for Delea Lugo or Delea Lex, I want to say. And Heather, whatever. Thank you, guys, ladies. I appreciate it. Lisa Bugo's monster eel. Maybe. Possibility. Dusty goes, if you believe in the theory of evolution, eels growing legs may be possible. I think it's possible. I think even if it's eel DNA, it could be an eel that we don't. Maybe it's an eel we don't know about. Joanne goes, giant from the ocean with big sharp teeth. I don't think he is. But I believe there is something. Hold on, guys. I'm looking at something. Give me a second. I don't normally do this, but I don't want to be quiet and have a weird look on my face and you'd be like, what is going on? Wendy goes, isn't Loch Ness fresh water? They're saying it. They didn't say what kind of water it was. They just said it was like cold, murky. I want to say it is because it's not. I I wouldn't think it's ocean water. It could be a species we do not know anything about. New England mom goes, yes, it's fresh water, not salt. Wendy goes, fresh waters, rivers, and lakes. That's what I was thinking. I was like, wait a minute, it is. Because it's not the ocean. Tyrana goes, there has to be more than one. I agree with you. There has to be. Heather Winter goes, what I did draw did look like a thick, very thick hose. Humps you could see under. Wing Shape Bear goes, it can't be a plesiosaur as they are air breathers. Dusty goes, Loch Ness means, or Loch means lake. It's a big lake. Ozzy saying Loch Ness opens up to the sea. Heather whatever goes, I hope it isn't an eel. It could be. It's not wet. I'm not thinking eel as in the traditional eel that we know of the eel. It could be a species of eel that we don't know about. Honey goes, it has to be something that's been cut off and evolved to adapt to the deep pressure water. Supposedly there are some locks that connect via underwater caves. Carol goes, I thought lock meant a big lake locked by land. Well, let's look it up. Loch is a word meaning lake or sea inlet in Scottish and Irish Gaelic, subsequently borrowed into English. In Irish context, it's often appeared in the anglicized form low view of Ben Lomond across Loch Lomond. Locks which connect to the sea may be called sea locks or sea lows. Honey goes, that would explain why it's not always seen. Could be moving between locks. True. Very true. Julissa goes, I've always loved the idea of the mythical creatures, just like the unicorns. Like, I totally wish there were dragons. Angel, how's it going? It could be hiding. That's why I kind of put it like it's something like a spirit. Like you're not guaranteed to catch one if you go ghost hunting. Doesn't mean that the place isn't haunted. So I take that with the Loch Ness. You may not always see it, but doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't exist. Heather whatever goes, Lake Tahoe was carved by a glacier 1,644 feet deep at the deepest. Oh, wow. I've been there. I've been to Lake Tahoe once, and it was a while ago. It was a long time ago. It's beautiful, I remember, but I haven't been since. It's a beautiful area, though. Ozzy goes, Outlander book theory. Loch Ness is a time travel portal, and Nessie travels through time and therefore not always seen. Hmm. I don't think Loch Ness is a time traveler, but I think there's probably I want to go more toward Honey's theory that there are channels that the Loch Ness can travel through, underground channels. I feel like that's more plausible, but that is a good that is good. That's a good one, Ozzy. Joanne goes, it probably doesn't like people. True. I mean, sometimes I don't want to deal with people, so I wouldn't blame it if Nessie didn't want to deal with people. Wink Shapeberry, it's curious how stories of lake monsters are on the same global area. Daniel goes, our Trinity Lake is only 400 feet deep. Oh, wow. D. Nisa goes, I am just thinking of a land with luscious hair. I don't know, because my phone's beeping at me. So I was like, why is it beeping? Ozzy goes, Nessie is an introvert. Julissa goes, Lake Tahoe is beautiful. The water's so clear and blue, but very cold. All right, guys, I'm gonna try something new. I'm gonna go a little true crime-ish because I do like my true crime. Um, I'm gonna try it. I'll do the little true crime thing at the end. Um, um, I found this article on fairly new article, little true crime-ish. I know a lot of you likes true crime, so and it's one of my passions too. And I always felt true crime is hand in hand with horror. A lot of people that like horror like true crime. So this one's from CBS News. It goes, 10-year-old boy, Texan boy, tells investigators he killed a man 2 years ago. He can't be charged with the crime. So when I have not read this article, guys. This is the first time I'm reading it, but the title, I was like, what the hell? Are you kidding me? So, a 10-year-old South Texan boy being questioned for allegedly threatening to kill a classmate told investigators that he killed a man for no reason 2 years ago, according to law enforcement officials. But according to state law, he can't be charged in the crime. The unidentified child told school officials in the Nixon Smiley Consolidated Independent School District that he had pew-pewed and killed a man in 2022 as he was being questioned for allegedly threatening to kill or matar a student on a bus last week, according to Gonzales County Sheriff's Office news release. The child told investigators firsthand information about the pew-pew death of a 32-year-old Brandon O'Quinn Raspberry on January 18th of 2022 in Nixon, Texas, which is located approximately an hour east of San Antonio. The child said he was visiting his grandfather in an RV park that day. So this happened 2 years. Oh, so if the kid is 2 years old, or 2 years, 10 years old, and it happened 2 years ago, he was 8. What is a kid thinking at 8 years old to do this? A few lots from where Raspberry was living, the release stated. He told investigators he took a pew-pew from the glove box of his grandfather's truck, entered the RV belonging to Raspberry, and pew-pewed him once, mataring him. The child told investigators he had never met Raspberry before and had seen him walking around the RV earlier in the day. The child was also asked if he was mad at Brandon for some reason or if Brandon had ever done anything to him to make him mad. The child stated no, the release said. So what would make this kid at 8 years old think to do this? I just do not, it's, yeah. On April 12th, investigators found the pew-pew used in Raspberry's murder at a pawn shop in a nearby town and eventually matched shell casings from the scene with the pew-pew used in the crime. But because the child was under the age of 10 at the time of the crime, he can't be charged in the connection of the 2022 homicide, the release said, citing the Texas Penal Code. So I think, I don't know if it's universal, but I believe when I was studying criminal justice way back in the day, um, you they consider age 12 the age of knowing right from wrong. Finding though I've seen that they do prosecute some kids as an adult. Finding out it was a 7-year-old that committed the murder, a senseless murder at that, is just tragic. Okay, but scratch that. He was 7. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around it. Jonathan Fojtik, the homicide victim's brother, told CBS affiliate Kins Brandon was a loving person. He'd give the shirt off his back for anyone. The child has since been charged in connection with the threat made against the classmate and is in juvenile detention awaiting a court date, the release said. So if he was 7, the, Heather Whatever goes scary but freaky. Heather Whatever goes right. I just wanted bubble gum from the ice cream man at that. Yeah, I just wanted ice cream at that age. I wanted to go to the beach. I wanted to go swimming with my friends. I was not thinking of grabbing the pew pew out of my grandfather's truck and using it. Maybe if the grandfather taught him how to to pew pew in the backyard, pew pewing bottles, but Dusty goes, I saw this article yesterday and found it so disturbing. The child needs to be put under medical evaluation. I agree. There obviously, even though he can't be. My watch wants to talk to me now. Even though he's 7 years old at the time of the crime, there still should be some type, obviously, they should put him in some type of counseling or something. I mean, obviously, he can't be charged at that age, but prevent him from doing it again. And obviously, he's already going down that line because he threatened a classmate. Joanne goes, he is well on his life to imprison. He is if they don't do anything about it. I mean, obviously, there is a problem. So it's only up to the person to not do, to change your life. And maybe when he gets older, he may realize that if he has the right people in his life. You know what I mean? But at 7, Julissa goes, so sad at 7 that they definitely know right from wrong. Matthew wanted to be a Ghostbuster at 7. I wanted to play outside and play with my dogs or what at that age. I wasn't even thinking. Heather Whatever goes, well, he will learn in juvie as long as he's got someone that would take him under their wing and kind of guide him. I think he'll be okay. But they need to start now because he's already going down that road. Heather Whatever goes, swim and watch a TV. Exactly. That's what I was doing. Enjoying my summer, not thinking about not thinking about doing that. That's why I wanted to share that because I thought it's crazy what we see in the news some days. It's sad too. Like what is going on in this kid's life to make him do that, to make him want to do that. You know what I mean? Or to even think of doing that. Daniel goes playing in the creek. Yeah. Or going to the park and playing in the creek. Like Daniel said. Dusty Good was playing baseball in a league. Wake Shape Barry goes, if there's a problem, I'll solve it. But that's just sad. Heather Whatever goes, fun stuff, not death. Exactly. I get we all, but I just feel for this kid because I feel that if he has the right people in his life, he can turn around. Daniel goes, then everything stopped when I found out about a skateboard. Skateboarding was the rest of my life. Heather Wetter goes, then not talking, conscience a little, I guess. I mean, obviously, I don't know what prompted him to say. Um, I don't know what prompted him to finally like say, "Hey, this I did it." Because the article doesn't delve into that, but Heather, whatever goes, atmosphere is everything, no matter genetics. Teach kindness, exactly. So I feel for this kid. I really do. I feel for him. I do because we don't know what's going on with his life to make him think this. I got one more article, guys, and I'll open it up for questions and answers. I found this kind of interesting. I'm a fan of Terrifier, and you know how most of these movies have popcorn buckets? Like I think Ghostbusters did. Dune had a bucket. Well, the fans. This is from Bloody Disgusting. The fans rally for Terrifier 3. Art the Clown popcorn bucket with online petition. I'm like, hell yeah! And I don't buy popcorn buckets, but I'll buy this one. Um, this art, this picture is super cool. I don't know where they got it, but it's super cool. Oh, it's a pop. It's the Terrifier popcorn bucket concept without the girl, obviously. Popcorn buckets are all the rage right now, with several sparking controversies, including this gem from Dune Part 2. If you know, you know. Studios continue to push the envelope with rumors that the buckets for Deadpool and Wolverine will be nothing short of the intentionally crude and lewd, teased Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige. But what about horror? Horror fans hope to see a Terrifier popcorn bucket available in theaters nationwide when Terrifier 3 releases this fall. Over the weekend, a hardcore fan launched a petition to raise awareness for a potential Terrifier 3 popcorn bucket. I immediately fantasized about eating pink popcorn out of Art the Clown's head. What would you want to see out of a Terrifier popcorn bucket? Damien Leone and Phil Falcone's third film is Christmas themed, so I'm sure there's no shortage of cool ideas. Cineverse and Bloody Disgusting are reteaming with Iconic Events, releasing as the theatrical distribution partner of the Terrifier 3, coming in theaters nationwide later this year. While you wait, you can stream Terrifier 2 if you guys have Screambox, but I don't. So basically, I believe it comes out October 25th is what of 2024. So it comes out, and I do have this poster. It's a Christmas theme, so I cannot wait. And if they do need popcorn buckets for horror movies, Wendy goes Deadpool, Wolverine. I have high hopes and low expectations. It's it's owned by Disney, so I have very low expectations. Daniel goes, that's awesome. Ozzy, speaking of the previous article, unless someone is born a psychopath, sociopaths are made, psychopaths are born. Ooh. Heather, whatever goes, I get popcorn buckets at Disneyland, not much else besides tickets. I know they released a cool popcorn bucket for Universal Studios. I think I want to say 40th anniversary of the tram or something like that. Don't quote me. Angel goes, they did have a popcorn bucket for the new Halloween. I mean, I've seen like the popcorn tins for the movies, for the horror movies with the toppers and all that, but I want like the cool like popcorn bucket like they did with Dune and or like a Deadpool head or whatever, like something like that. But I've seen like the tin popcorn buckets and the straw toppers that they use. Heather whatever goes, I want a nice Winnie the Pooh bucket. And I know there's people that actually collect those. Honey goes, sometimes you just get in the mood for that popcorn. I used to buy it at the Target snack bar. Wake Shapeberry goes, I'm watching the Phantasma movies. Those are good, great films. Joanne, thank you. I never got a cool popcorn bucket, but if they came out with something like something cool, I may be tempted. D Nice, I go, I miss using the McDonald's Happy Meal buckets for trick or treating. Also for movies. Those are cool. Now they're worth a lot of money. Matthew goes, Frozen Empire had the ghost trap bucket. Like something like that, Matthew. Like something cool that goes with the movie, not the tin ones. Daniel thought the Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket was awesome. They still have it. I don't go there anymore, but the Chinese theater in Los Angeles has the best, or it's in Hollywood, I should say, has the best popcorn. Honey goes, the Haunted Mansion theme popcorn bucket was cool. I heard they're renovating the Haunted Mansion now at Disneyland in Anaheim. Yes, Heather, whatever. I saw that. Do you know the tram crash Saturday at Universal? I do. And it injured. I did. I saw that. It popped up on my feed. 15 people were injured when the tram collided with guardrail at Universal Studios theme park near Los Angeles. And it happened on yesterday? It said while the tram was negotiating a turn, the last car collided with a metal guardrail, causing it to tilt and eject multiple passengers. Wow. The tours have resumed with a modified route. Daniel goes, take your microwave popcorn out of the bag and cook it in the pan. It's the best. My favorite type of popcorn, though, is kettle corn. I love kettle corn. So whenever you go to those street fairs, I always try to get kettle corn. I love kettle corn. The kettle corn, I think we went to the Hollywood Bowl one time. Oh, they have amazing kettle corn. D Nice goes, I would cook my popcorn on the stove, but it always turned out burnt. Same with me, D Nice. Even when I microwave it, I always put it in too long. I know what you're thinking. How can you mess up microwaving popcorn? Me. I do. And the stovetop, because we had a lot the way back when I was a kid, there was the stovetop ones, and I would always burn those too. Growing up. I did not have the touch at all. I always do. I'll put the bag in the microwave and I'm like, oh, because I'm the type of person that I want to try to get every single kernel popped as much as I could. And I always put it in a minute too late. D Nice goes, it burns even with the popcorn button on the microwave. Yes, it does. It's like the only time I could get it not to burn is if I literally just pop like half the bag, basically. Heather, whatever goes, my son worked there last year. A great place to work. Julissa goes, I love the Jiffy Pop stovetop popcorn. Honey goes, you should try an air pop. I do have one actually, Honey. I just haven't used it in a while. That kind of gets me. That's a good snack. I do have one, I just haven't used it in a while. I know, Daniel. Daniel's saying I have to stand right in front of the microwave. I know, but sometimes, you're multitasking, so you walk away and then you come back. Heather, whatever, suggesting cheese popcorn from Walmart, but only cook it for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Wendy, I'm with you. I'm too impatient. I can't stand in front. Like, I multitask. Carol goes, I remember making cupcakes at 5 years old and my aunt yelling at me for licking the spoon after each fill in the cupcake pan. Heather, whatever, goes, my dad made perfect stove popcorn, shook it like a fool the whole time. My dad did too. He just knew how to make it. Chris, the smell of burnt popcorn is the worst. Like, it stays in the house for a long time. D Nice goes, my dad got a vintage popcorn machine to popcorn for family parties. I really want to find the mushroom kernels. Those are the ones used for kettle corn. Daniel had the easy, was it Daniel? Was it the easy bake oven? Wake Sheep Barry, I'm at the question and answer section time, Wake Sheep Barry. So it's toward the end of the stream here, so I'm just going with the flow. So I didn't mention it's question and answers, but I kind of went with the flow with the chat. So it is, I'm opening it up to question and answers, guys. I didn't mention it because I kind of was going with the flow with the chat. I've never used an easy bake oven. It's kind of what I do toward the end. I kind of open it up to you guys. I always leave a few minutes, more than a few minutes, but I always leave a minute and kind of bring up. Ask away, guys, if you have any questions. Wendy goes, the crap we did and products we used, it's amazing we survived. Exactly. Oh, Skeleduck. Oh my god, my camera moved. So you know what, guys? Skeleduck is not in the scene. The camera moved. I swear the camera was perfect, but it moved. It moved over. So I'm going to kind of move it over here because now you'll be able to see him. So Skeleduck. So originally I had, sorry guys, originally I had the camera like this. So Skeleduck is right here. I originally had the camera just like this, pardon my thumb, just like this, so you could see the tail of Skeleduck, but the camera moved. So here he is. I don't know why the camera is moving on me. I need to tighten the screw on it to the base because it's moving on me. Apologize, guys. The camera, see now it's gonna move again. Tirana, I did not go hiking today. I opted for a neighborhood walk. Daniel goes, the ghost in the mic went to the camera. It definitely did. Lisa Boo goes, easy bake oven and a light bright were my faves. I did. I had a I didn't have a light bright, but my friends did. and I would mess with it all the time. I thought it was cool. Or Lincoln Logs. Lincoln Logs. I never had Lincoln Logs. My friend had Lincoln Logs. Wake Sheep, Barry Ghost, Skeleduck, what's used us to tell a story? D Nice goes, is your ghost moving the camera? It must be. No, I just need to tighten it, and then the cable's probably not aligned properly and it's moving. I swear he was in the frame when I started. Oh well, things happen. It happens. Cause you want that perfect shot and then the camera moves. I was like, I'm not even moving the table, so I don't know how it's moving. I think it's just the cable's not, it's contort. See, it just moved right now. Dusty goes, well, not what I was looking at. It ducked out. My camera didn't want you guys finding Skeleduck. Oh well. I'll fix that. Probably my fault. Probably shouldn't have put it at the very corner of the screen. Thanks, Chris, for dropping by. Guys, any last minute questions? I'm gonna stay on for a few more minutes. We can hang out. So get your questions in. And thank you, Heather Whatever, for your PayPal. Hearts for Heather Whatever. Thank you, Heather Whatever. You're awesome. Just making sure, because I always end the stream and I forget somebody and I'm like, ah. I hate when I do that. Daniel goes, I had the Evil Knievel motorcycle pool toy. Cool. I had these trucks, but they weren't plastic. They were metal trucks, but the wheels, they were monster trucks, but the wheels were plastic, but you could take the wheels off and turn them to lock them. I don't even know what kind they were, but they were the most amazing toys. I wish they made toys like that nowadays. Thank you, Dusty. Wendy had the Hulk Hogan stretch arm. Honey stole her brother's Han Solo doll because he was cuter than Ken. Why not? All right. All right, guys, I'm going to end the stream there. Thank you for joining me on tonight's Grayson Report. I will see you on the next one. Stay spooky and sweet nightmares. Good night, guys, and thanks again. You guys are awesome.